Hey, what's up? Hello, everyone. Welcome into Fantasy Filmball, the show where we turn movies into sports and sports into something we don't talk about here. My name is Matt.
My name is Dyl, and today we're having our final draft of 2023, and we're going to kick off 2024 in style because we are drafting our most anticipated films for next year. And you know what? I gotta say, thank you to everyone out there handing me the W for the Emma Stone draft. Feels nice to be in the W column once again, and I want to keep that going for these movies for the upcoming year. However, one thing I am going to say is I haven't looked much at all to 2024 yet of what movies are coming out, what the Oscar players are, anything like that. But you know who has? Matt. Matt, you want to tell me what you have coming out tomorrow?
I do. So this draft is releasing on December 31st, 2023, and tomorrow, January 1st, 2024, I have a massive video that is going to be dropping. It's a special video, just me chatting at you, talking about 40 Oscar contenders to watch out for next year. So the 2024 ultimate Best Picture preparation guides that you guys can be ahead of the game. The first Best Picture predictions of the year. So yeah, there's 40 films in there for you to get excited about, and that should be my little New Year's gift to you. But today we're going to talk about some of the other films we're excited about, whether or not they're Oscar movies. It doesn't matter. We're just going to select them. And Dylan, you have the first pick today because you annihilated me in that Emma Stone draft. So what are you going to take for your most anticipated next year?
I mean, this was probably one of my most anticipated films of 2023 before it got delayed, and I apologize for people watching here. My throat may sound a little bit bad because I'm recovering from being sick, but I felt sick when Dune Part 2 got delayed to 2024, so hopefully it does not get delayed once again. March is so close. It's 3 months away. I can't wait to be back to Arrakis, Paul Atreides, doing his Dune stuff, riding his worms, and I haven't read the Book of Dune, but from everything that I've heard, Part 2 dives into more of the deeper, to more of the grand, the boldness, the pizzazz of it all, of the Dune series. So I'm really excited to see what's happening, and that psychotic performance from Austin Butler. How's he going to follow up Elvis? There's just so much going into Dune Part 2, and I can't wait for it.
That is absolutely the correct pick at number one. In fact, I just knew there was no chance I was going to get Dune Part 2. And I hope that you don't win automatically off of that pick because you I think you totally could. But there's quite a few other things on the board that I am really excited for. And honestly, Warner Brothers is having a crazy year. They've got so many fantastic films. Honestly, we could probably fill a draft just with Warner Brothers films from next year. But I'm not going to just do that. The first film I'm going to pick is maybe my most anticipated movie of next year, but I mean, maybe over Dune Part 2, maybe the same level. I'm a huge Robert Eggers fan. I think The Lighthouse is one of the best films of the last 10 years. I'm just so excited to see whatever he does next. And Nosferatu, which is releasing in December of next year, not only do I think that this could be one of the best films of the year, I think it could end up being an Oscar player. Robert Eggers could get his Get Out Jordan Peele moment where the film branches between horror audiences and beyond. Nosferatu, easy first pick for me. I can't wait to see this one.
Great first pick. I was like, oh, should I take in the second round? Is that too early? But clearly it wasn't because first round, pick 2, good pick here.
Now, to go back to that Warner Brothers thing I was talking about, there is one Warner Brothers movie that I actually would say kind of reigns over all of the rest. This is a long-anticipated prequel, one that we've been waiting for 9 years now. The real long wait that's been killing me has been, when are we going to get the next film in the Mad Max saga? And that is Furiosa, which is coming out in May this year. And hopefully it can recapture the magic of Mad Max Fury Road. I'm not fully expecting it to, but even if it's 90% of Mad Max Fury Road, even 80%, it is going to be one of the most energized, one of the most energetic, one of the most exciting films that releases this year. I can't wait to see what the mad genius behind Mad Max does next. George Miller, I mean, he's the king.
Yeah, I mean, Furiosa, I think it's a good pick. Me personally, I think it went a little high here. The trailers haven't really like sold me the best, but maybe that's marketing stuff. I didn't know anything about the original Mad Max when it came out, or whatever installment it was when it came out back in like 2015. Number 4 back in like 2015. But I remember watching the movie, remember loving it, so maybe it'll be the same here with Furiosa. So now I'm at a crossroads here. Do I fully commit to the Warner Brothers train, go with 2 Warner Brothers movies? Do I go off with something very populist? Do I go with something completely off the rails? Because I will have one completely off the rails pick here in this draft. But I think I will stick with Warner Brothers, and I will have to go with the follow-up to one of my favorite movies from 2019. And this one may be stepping up a little bit because it's adding Lady Gaga. Apparently it's a musical, and that is the new Joker movie. I think this one could go multiple ways. It could be insane in a great way, could be insane in an awful way, but at a minimum it's going to be one of the most entertaining theater experiences of all of 2024.
That's a great pick. It's really interesting looking forward at Joker 2, Joker Folie à Deux. Because how do you top the cultural sensation that was that first film? And I think that they did answer the question, which is you don't even try to. You don't try to do the same thing but better. You try to do something entirely different. I was thinking about my best picture list, and I do have Joker ranked really high on there.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is that it's not going to be stale. It's going to be unique and different. But that said, there's definitely a huge chance that critics will put out the hit on this one, and that people will try to stop Joker from being as big of a sensation as it was last time, because I think some critics are going to feel like they let Joker go a little too far in 2019.
Yeah, I mean, his reign of terror is, I think, only just beginning. I am very much anticipating your video coming out tomorrow, because Warner Brothers has 4 movies that theoretically could be in the Best Picture race, and obviously they're not going to get all 4 in, so who is going to be the casualty of that? I mean, we've had Dune go so far, Furiosa, Joker, so why don't I go with the 4th Warner Brothers movies here and go with Mickey 17, Bong Joon-ho, Robert Pattinson. What is this movie about? Couldn't tell you. They've given us one short little teaser for about a year now, and we don't really have any other information, but I know if I don't pick it here, it's not going to make it back to me. And I mean, it's Bong Joon-ho. When has he put out something that's not great? Robert Pattinson is on a roll right now, so I'm all for this.
Nice. I was hoping you'd slip up on that. I think you have won the draft at this point with your 3 Warner Brothers movies, especially having Bong Joon-ho, Denis Villeneuve. Divisive. Joker is divisive. That's the one thing I'm banking on here, is that some people will go, Joker, oh. So maybe. But I think that at this point you've won. So you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go all in craziness. I'm just going to have fun with the rest of my team.
Oh, yeah.
So
Argyle
the first
time.
one... Oh, you knew it. You called it. Now, the first one I'm going to take is what I think might be the biggest Searchlight contender of next year, which is the new Yorgos Lanthimos movie. I mean, hey, Poor Things just came out. It was a masterpiece, one of my favorite movies of the year. So why not go with the next Emma Stone, Yorgos Lanthimos collaboration, Kinds of Kindness, formerly titled And. This is an anthology movie. We don't know much more about it, but I mean, if it's anything to go off of, Yorgos Lanthimos is on a hot streak, going from The Lobster to The Killing of a Sacred Deer to The Favorite, then to Poor Things, which was a masterpiece. Like, how can you go wrong with Kinds of Kindness? It's so exciting. This is going to be an amazing film.
Yeah, I mean, Yorgos, Emma Stone, they're 2 for 2 so far for me, so I'm sure to get 3 of 3. But the one thing that scares me a little bit, you do say an anthology film, those typically don't have the best record, so maybe this could be one for next year on like an awards basis that like we think is going to be super high, but then it's just kind of like a non-factor. But that doesn't mean that the movie's not going to be great or anything like that.
I talk about that a little bit in my Best Picture video, and the thing is, normally I'd be more cautious of an anthology film, but look at what else Searchlight has next year. It's not much. Unless you think the Bob Dylan movie by James Mangold and Timothée Chalamet is coming out, which it's not. They haven't filmed it yet. They're filming it in March. There's no way it comes out next year. So to me, that says that Kinds of Kindness is really the only thing Searchlight has on the horizon. So for my next pick after this, I'm going to take one of the biggest movies of next year, what I would describe as the Fabelmans / Killers of the Flower Moon. of next year, and that is Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis. This is a science fiction movie starring Adam Driver, starring Aubrey Plaza, and weirdly enough, the America's Got Talent winner Grace VanderWaal is apparently maybe the lead role in that movie. So weird. But it's a sci-fi movie that Francis Ford Coppola has been trying to make for over 20 years, and no one has been funding it because it's such a big, ambitious project. And he has finally put his own money into the project to finally get it done. This could be one of the biggest movies of next year, or it could be one of the biggest disasters of next year. I have no idea, but no matter what, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Megalopolis is one that we've been hearing about forever, and I think, like you just said, it could be a disaster, it could be the best thing in the world. We will just have to find out, but I also think there's a small chance where it maybe doesn't come out next year, but you know...
Oh, no, they finished filming last November. There's no chance that it doesn't come out this year. Like, it's been wrapped for a long time. It's apparently they're trying to get it ready for Cannes.
Here's a question. What if Searchlight buys that? To continue with the draft here, I have to take at least one more for real pick before I can go off into the world of memes. And the first one I'll be taking is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I think the most recent Apes trilogy is one of the best trilogies that we've gotten in like a long time. I think all three of those movies are 8 out of 10s and higher. And this one I know has a different director, has a different like main working cast, but I'm still very excited to see what's coming out of it. The trailer I think is very intriguing. And I mean, it's coming out in May. It's not that far away. It's one of the earlier releases that we have in this draft so far. So to go with my final pick, there's a lot of ways I can go. There's Mufasa, The Lion King. I think it's going to be a great movie. Everyone out there doesn't think so, so I don't want to take my team.
It's Barry Jenkins.
Quite so fast. It is Barry Jenkins. And
yeah, you made that mistake last year with Little Mermaid.
I did, and everyone's like, oh, why did Barry Jenkins sign on to do this? Well, I'll tell you why. That means he gets a blank check from Searchlight the next time he wants to make a movie. They'll let him do whatever he wants because he made the new Disney live-action movie. It's how the business works. It's going to be good for us in the long run. There's the Mean Girls musical coming out in like 2 weeks. Looks really fun, but I'm not going to take that here. And then we have the ultimate meme movie of next year, Venom 3. We don't have a title for it yet, but Venom 3, I would love to have it on my roster here, but I'm not going to go with that, and I don't care what people say. Argyle I think is going to be like a strong 8 out of 10, but I'm not going to select that as well because apparently the internet hates Argyle, which makes no sense to me. Argyle looks like
the trailer looks fine, man. It looks
like a blast. It's great ensemble, but I'm going to go with a movie that also the internet does like, and the ensemble cast is very good. It's coming from one of my favorite directors, and that is going to be Challengers, another movie delayed from 2023 into 2024. Zendaya's in this. She's one of my favorites out there. I would love to see Mike Face in another role. I feel like I haven't really seen him in much recently, so his return to the screen will be a blast. And Luca, he always delivers bangers. It can be in any genre. We've seen him do it in horror. We've seen him do it in like the romantic drama scenes. Now we get that romantic comedy scene, and I just can't wait for this one.
All right, for my final pick, I could go with a couple that I'm very excited for. The first one that I'm not going to go for is Blitz by Steve McQueen, which is one of the biggest, most anticipated films for the Oscar race, at least. This is the one that if you were to ask me what is going to be next year's Oppenheimer-sized movie that could just sweep Best Director, I would say Blitz at this point. I would absolutely say Blitz. I think it is going to be just huge across the board. The other one I'm not going to take is Maria. This is Pablo Larraín's next movie. It is starring Angelina Jolie as an opera singer, Maria Callas. It is the third film in the trilogy of... It's the third film in the Lady in Heels trilogy, which also featured Jackie and Spencer. And Spencer was one of my favorite movies. I know you hated it, Dylan, so you would never take this movie anyways. But Maria is one that I think is going to be absolutely spectacular. But what I am going to pick is not technically a movie, but I'm going to say it should count because it's on LETTERBOXD, and it's a mini series, but I'm planning to consume it as a movie as much as I can and just watch it back to back to back. Wong Kar-wai is one of the best filmmakers of all time. He is a Hong Kong filmmaker who made masterpieces like In the Mood for Love, Chungking Express. And this year, after more than a decade since his last film, he's finally putting out his he's finally putting out his next project called Blossoms Shanghai. Blossoms Shanghai is 25 episodes long. Each episode is 50 minutes. It is going to be essentially almost 20 hours of new Wong Kar-wai content. That's more hours of Wong Kar-wai than he has in his entire career to this point. So when I tell you that I am absolutely stoked for this, and it is probably my most anticipated movie of the year, I fully mean it. This is absolutely it's going to be a legendary moment, similar to like when David Lynch did the 3rd season of Twin Peaks, which everyone still refers to as a movie, even though it's very much a season of a TV show. People watch it like it's a 20-hour-long movie. That's what I'm going to do with Blossom Shanghai. I can't wait.
Yeah, we'll count it. Like you said in the Emma Stone draft, if it's on Letterboxd, it counts for these drafts. So, to recap what we had this week in our 2024 Most Anticipated Movies draft, I kicked things off with Dune Part 2, followed up with Joker 2, Mickey 17 for my trio of Warner Brothers movies, and then I went to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes and Challengers.
And for my team, I took Robert Eggers' Nosferatu, the new Mad Max movie Furiosa, Yorgos Lanthimos and Emma Stone collaborating again with Kinds of Kindness, Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis, and finally Wong Kar-wai's 25-hour magnum opus, Blossoms Shanghai.
So for everyone out there, we want to hear your voice heard. We've been getting so many votes on these videos recently, so that means so much to both of us. You just go over to the YouTube community tab, you vote for which team you think has the best collection of films, which team has your favorite movie that you're most looking forward to, the team that just has the movie that you don't want to watch the most. However you want to vote. Personally, I would do the first one, not the last one, but we just like to hear your voices heard. And let us know down below, what movie are you most looking forward to in 2024?
Thanks so much for watching. As always, my name is Matt.
My name is Dyl, and this is Fantasy Filmball.